It dip did do. How many times is Bruno gonna put man straight through? What more can he do? Ain't that much that we're asking of you. Don't be looking at him, I'm talking to you. We're in need of a striker, you already know it ain't only my point of view, but we got the W, so we move. It dip did do. How many times is Bruno gonna put man straight through? What more can he do? Ain't that much that we're asking of you. Don't be looking at him, I'm talking to you. We're in need of a striker, you already know it ain't only my point of view, but we got the W, so we move. What? Yo, this is the OT99 Banter, where opinions are shared and smoke gets served. I am amped. I am gassed. Manchester United 2, Everton 0. Manchester United got the W at home, 2 back-to-back wins, and I'm happy. Manchester United at home. You know, Old Trafford is a fortress. We know this, and Manchester United are continuously living up to expectation at home. Look, Manchester United bodied Everton from start to finish, and you know what? The only sad thing is that scoreline ain't 6, 7-0, 8-0, or whatever it should be, because Manchester United had ample opportunities. How many times is man like Bruno gonna be putting through guys like Anthony and guys like Rashford? And all this does is just shine the light on the fact that Manchester United really does need a clinical number 9. Shout out to Rashford though. Big shout out to Rashford, because Rashford has been carrying this team in terms of goal threat, has been holding this team upright. And you know what? Rashford through the center is so much better than Rashford through the center is so much better than Rashford on the left for this team right about now, Manchester United. Why? Because that running in behind the defense and all of that stuff, look, it's so much more dangerous when Rashford is doing it as opposed to Weghorst. And it just goes to show, like, Rashford has managed to get 28 goals or whatever it is like that by himself this season, his best season ever. But it's just like, imagine if this guy had support. Imagine if he had a Kane. Imagine if he had an Osimhen. Imagine if he had, dare I say, Kylian Mbappe, what Manchester United will be moving like. Like, it's just evident that we need a striker. But I'm still happy, man. I'm happy. Look, Maguire, man, I ain't gonna lie. I see him starting and I'm just like, Everton Hag, like, what's wrong? Like, why do you always start this? Why do you bring him on? Like, you got Lindelof there. Do you know what I mean? And I know Everton Hag needs fresh legs. I know he needs to rotate. But Maguire worries me. And I was only sitting there thinking, you know, is he playing? Why? It must only be because of his aerial threat. And I can't lie to you, like, Maguire didn't put too much of a foot wrong today. He didn't put too much of a foot wrong today. And I must commend him. He had a decent game. To be honest, everyone had a decent game. I looked at Aaron Wan-Bissaka. He played a phenomenal game. It is great. Look, he's definitely first choice right back right about now. And you know what's worrying is the fact that I'm seeing reports come out on the weekend like, in a weekday saying, like Wan-Bissaka, you know, he's the guy that's going to be sold if we bring in Frimpong. But like, if you look at Wan-Bissaka and you look at Galore, I feel like Aaron Wan-Bissaka going forward is providing us more. I think he provides us a better balance in terms of if you just to score defensive abilities and score attacking abilities, add them together. I feel that Wan-Bissaka nudges it over Galore, average over both of those categories than Galore does. And my thing is just like, if you're getting Frimpong, he's the attacking fullback anyway. You can't replace Aaron Wan-Bissaka's defensive abilities, but you can replace Galore's attacking abilities. So to see him potentially being sold on is worrying to me, man, because we saw Wan-Bissaka today. I don't feel that assurance when I see Galore right back. You know, after the break, you know, after what his injury or whatever he got, Galore is taking a dip in form, and I don't feel that assurance that I could do with Aaron Wan-Bissaka now. Even defensively, on the left, I don't feel that assurance with Shaw, even though he's been having a good campaign, like I do with Malacia. Got to see both of them today. Malacia started off a bit shaky, but he grew into the game. And we see why we like this guy. His tenaciousness, his aggressiveness, like his physicality is really, really good defensively. And I feel that those two fullbacks put on a hell of a performance. Martinez, as per usual, like there is no more of an accomplished centre-back than Martinez in this league right about now. I'm telling you, his ability, his recovery is crazy. He's sniffing out danger, it's crazy. Putting himself on the line, it's crazy. His composure on the ball, he's being able to pass through the lines, pick a pass is great. Like, he's a complete centre-back. He's one of the best in the Premier League, in my opinion, right about now. He's just doing the most for our defense right about now. And you can see how when you've got a quality centre back like Martinez, you can pair them up with the guys like Maguire and still be able to get through a game. Look, defensively, we were sound. Like I said, Maguire put in a good shift. You're looking at the midfield now. No Casemiro once again, but you know what? He's coming back. Finally, that suspension and all of that missing games is done. Casemiro's going to be back. But you know what? Sabitzer, Scott McTominay. If anyone tells me that Scott McTominay didn't have a good game today, they're lying. Scott McTominay put in a shift and he deserved that goal. He deserved that goal. He brought in his goal-scoring form for Scotland to Manchester United. He deserved it, man, because that guy was putting in a shift. I was looking at him thinking, rah, this guy is going on cold. And look, Manchester United, if we're selling him to Newcastle or whoever, we better be getting a premium fee. I don't want no less than 30 million for Scott McTominay, because I feel like Scott McTominay, he's built for the Premier League. The physicality, do you know what I mean? When he has a good game, like I said in the previous post, like he can be on and off, but when he has a good game, he has a really good game. And today was one of those games where he had a really good game, in my opinion. Him and Sabitzer was allowed to push forward. Once again, look, we see that Sabitzer's talent, man, from the outset, man, taking the ball on a half turn, popping off a shot, going narrowly wide on the far right post of Pickford. Look, he's got the ability, Sabitzer. He's a lot more technical than Scott McTominay. He can pick a pass, he can pop off a shot. I like Sabitzer. And if you're telling me 20 million euros is all it takes to secure that guy, I say we should do it, because he'll make a good squad player. We need a big squad if we want to be competing for all titles next season. And I feel like that's good business. We've been linked with what do you call it? The Brighton guy, McAllister. Look, 61 million is what they're tooting. Sign Sabitzer, sign McAllister, 80 million. That is good business, you understand? And if you need another player, midfielder, go and get them. But I feel like having those two is good, especially if you're going to be selling Scott McTominay. And we're uncertain on what's happening with Fred's sort of long-term future going forward, even though there's been discussions about him potentially getting a new contract. Look, we're moving on. The wings, Anthony, man. I ain't gonna lie. Over the last two games, again with Anthony, I must say, yeah, that his end product is just crazy. How many times did Bruno put mine through? He was on twice. He got the better of the defender in on goal. And you just want that extra bit of thrust from Anthony, that extra bit of speed, that extra yard, and he doesn't give it to you. And it allows players, the defenders, to catch up with him, put him off his game, throw him off his shot. Do you know what I mean? There's opportunity like it's just frustrating with Anthony. But what I do really like about Anthony over the last couple of games is the fact that he's putting himself in those good positions. He's getting in those dangerous positions. He's taking guys on. He's running direct. And that's what we want to see from Anthony. It's a start of getting a better Anthony than what we've been seeing, because every time we looked at Anthony in 3/4 of the campaign is Anthony slowing down the counter-attack, slowing down the play, cutting inside. We don't want that. We want it to be direct. We want it, you know, when you stand up off the edge of your seat, you know how many times when he got put through and Rashford is on, you're just like, you're waiting for it. You're waiting for something to happen. And then you're like, oh. But that excitement of waiting for something to happen, like that is what I like about watching Man United. That's what we've experienced with Giggs. That's what we've experienced with Beckham and all of these guys. You know what I mean? Ronaldo, like the best wingers in the world. That's what we've experienced. And at times we've gone up this season. So for me, like Anthony, work on that end product, bro. Work on that end product, because look, Manchester United had 21 shots on goal there, son. The most amount from any team in a half. And Man United walked away in that first half with only one goal. Now tell me, if that was any other team, Manchester United, look, if there was any other team, there'll be at least 3 goals up. If it was Manchester United and it was Everton, on us like that, we would have at least conceded 2. And my thing is, Manchester United need to be more clinical. We need to be more clinical. We saw Martial come back. Look, Martial is clearly the best finisher forward for Manchester United. He comes on, makes his cameo performance, and boom, one chance. I think it was one chance anyway, and goal straight away. Like that composure that Martial has, that natural composure to finish, is what Manchester United forwards are lacking. Like, and don't get me wrong, Rashford is putting a shift, but at times as well, like those easy goals, you know what I mean? Putting yourself in the right place. Like Martial put himself in the right place to get those goals. Putting yourself in the right place where everything don't need to be you dribbling past 23 man or you know what I mean? Going in, going out, like scoring spectaculars and like running at high speed. We don't always need that. Sometimes we just want to tap in. And Rashford's got a lot of those goals. Don't get me wrong. But we need other players in this team to be stepping up. Like all Anthony's goals is the standard cut in, do that curler. Do you know what I mean? And that's his goal. or it has to be a 6-16 goal for someone like Sancho to be involved or something along those lines. Look, we need guys to be chipping in, and we need them tap-ins. But I'm happy with Scott McTominay's goal, like I said, because it was a well-worked team goal, man. People contributed to that, and I'm happy that Sancho was at the end of that assist, because he's gone through a torrid time and he stepped up today. Sancho stepped up today, and we need to see more of those type of performances. That's a building block. That's a platform for Sancho to go on and press forward. Look, Sancho, in my opinion, I was worried for him, because Sancho, when I'm seeing him brought out of the team, look, it's worrying, man. It's worrying, because he's got a big price tag on his head. You saw his stats, what he was doing for Dortmund. You saw how he was performing there. He's come to the Premier League and he hasn't quite hit the ground running. And we've all been saying, you know what, like, let's give him to the, let's let him settle in. But we're seeing a lot. Manchester United is moving. Eric Ten Hag ain't afraid to bench your captain. He ain't afraid to bench the most popular striker, one of the best in history, Ronaldo, and move on if he needs to move on. And the fact of the matter is, Sancho, Eric Ten Hag ain't gonna be put off by his price tag to make those serious decisions, as you can see with Maguire. So I just really feel like Sancho needs to step up. I really do feel like he needs to step up. And you know what? He did step up today. He put in good performances. He was behind. Good link-up play, man. The vision. Sancho, man, he slowed the game down today, man. Slow motion. He's able to pick the passes out, keep the ball ticking, flowing. He performed well, man. I must give a big shout out to Sancho, man. Big shout out to Sancho. Look, and Rash, man. It's bittersweet with Rash, because he could have come off. Like, we had the game in the bag. We weren't really threatened. And, that ball got put through to him and he stretched through it and he pulled a groin muscle. And I'm just sitting there like, oh, this is stress. Like, the last guy you want to be getting injured is Rashford. Rashford, man. Like, a third of our goals or more, I don't even know what the stat is coming from Rashford. We can't afford this guy to be injured. We've got big games coming up. We've got the Sevilla at home, Sevilla away. We've got FA and all of these games. I think the next game against Sevilla, in 5 days' time or whatever. Hopefully that's enough time for whatever is going on with Rashford to subdue, and that he gets back to full fitness, because we need this guy. We ain't beaten these Spanish teams like Sevilla before. We ain't beaten Sevilla. And Sevilla's going to give man stress. They're going to give us stress. Do you know what I mean? It's a big obstacle. People are talking about, other teams and getting to the final. Look, Sevilla is going to be a big statement getting past them. And to get past them, we need our best players fit. But the good side and the plus side is that we got Martial. We got Martial back. We can keep him wrapped in cotton wool, keep bringing him on for these little cameos, build him up slowly, and hopefully he can make an impact. You know what I mean? And Eriksen as well, he's come back into the fold as well. We see when he comes back into the fold, take a nice part. He already like putting those through balls, over the head balls. I think he put that. Look, with Eriksen, we just know he's going to come and make an instant impact. We've seen it with Eriksen that, when he's been out, Manchester United, we can't keep hold of the ball. The ball keeps going back and forth like this. He's a guy that can hold on to the ball, dictate play, like hold on it for a few seconds, pick the right pass. And that's what we needed in midfield and Eriksen. And a lot of the time when he was in our starting lineup going forward, like in the end previously, before he got injured, I was kind of like not understanding. I was kind of wanting to see like him be flipped, rotated, because he was getting rinsed out, to be honest. But I've seen the importance of him, like, for this squad, now that he's been out for such a long time. And I feel like him coming back is the right time, especially with these important games just running, so right time. So I'm glad to have him back. And obviously, like I mentioned earlier, Casemiro, the five-time Champions League winner, man, coming back into the fold. We can finally get to see now Casemiro back, Eriksen and Bruno. We can finally see Casemiro tracking, sort of sitting back into the back three. Do you know what I mean? Winning the ball back and setting off our play, like that transition, what Casemiro's done many times this season. Look, we can see that. Man. Sabit says, well, you're doing a good job, man. I'm proud, man. I'm proud. Like I said, we need to get that deal over the line. Look, Manchester United is moving onwards and upwards. Look, top four. I was asking a question before. Can Manchester United secure it? It's looking in doubt. But Manchester United at present, we've got that nice gap over Newcastle. Obviously, Newcastle still got to play Brentford, which is going to be a tough game. They're away. It's going to be a tough game, and I'm hoping that Brentford can get a W or at least a draw, so we can start getting back that comfortability, that gap, that cushion that we need, because we allowed Newcastle to get back in it. And obviously, Tottenham as well. They got a tough game against Brighton. They're playing at home, Tottenham, but it's a tough game against Brighton. You don't want to be playing them. So these are two important games that will determine, aid us in our position to secure top 4. So I'm hoping that we have a really good weekend, the bank holiday weekend, where the results go in our favor. But we've done our job. We'll just kick back and watch the rest of these teams, and hopefully they drop points and Manchester United push on. Look, Manchester United, come on, onwards and upwards. We'll see you on the next time. Sevilla. Remember, guys, like, comment, subscribe, support the team. Leave a comment. Let me know what your thoughts are. Who was your man of the match? And before I leave, I need to actually say who my man of the match was. Who was my man of the match? I have to give it to Bruno. Bruno was my man of the match, man, because Bruno, he was playing from deep. He was playing from deep today. It was behind everything. It was the orchestra. Look, he's had off games like Bruno, where he's playing in deep, and it's not worked out for him. But you seen today, you saw, like, against Brentford, he was pulling all the strings. Like, is he becoming accustomed to this position? Like, do we really have to be looking at, I don't know. I mean, look, Bruno Fernandes, he's adaptable. That's why we like this guy. Obviously, Eric Ten Hag loves Bruno Fernandes. He always wants him on a team because of his creativity. He plays him on the left, he plays him on the right, he plays him as a number 6, he plays him as a number 8, he plays him as a number 10, he plays him everywhere. And why? Because he's so, like, athletic. His athleticism is crazy. He's never really injured. He plays the most game in, like, the whole of flipping Europe. That guy, and he's just on it. He's just on it. And him playing in deep today just shows, like, you know, he's raising eyebrows, because it's making you think, you know what? If worse comes to worse and we ain't got an Eriksen, he can step into the fold. You know what I mean? He can step into the fold, and he's been doing it recently. And long may it continue, man. Long may it continue. So Bruno was my man of the match because he was behind everything today. And you know what? If these forwards were more clinical today, for example, even if we even started Martial, and I understand why we didn't, because he's always getting injured and trying to protect him. But even if we did, look, Bruno will have at least 2-3 assists to his name today. Easy. And do you know what I mean? But he just kept things ticking, man. He was going under the. I mean, hopefully people can see the importance of Bruno for this team, because I know he's got a lot of slack. He's got a lot of slack from me. Like, there was a time in the game where he's, like, doing out of the boot shots. You know what I mean? Where he should be just trying to hit it, smash it in with his left foot or whatever he's doing out of the boot, out of the right foot, outside of the boot shots, and it's just going wide. That part of his game frustrates you, but when you see him playing majestically like this, man, look, he's unstoppable. But obviously, the real acid test, like it's been all season, is our performances away from home. Like, I'm not gonna, like, get comfortable and get complacent thinking, oh, we've turned a new leaf, because we've got fortunate that, you know, when we took that L against Newcastle, our next couple of games was at home, and we've got Sevilla again at home. But where we've got to be going away and fighting the relegation teams that's fighting for their life, like Nottingham Forest, we need to stand up and be counted. But like I said, man, our players are coming back, so hopefully we can give a good account of ourselves, and hopefully we can turn it around, turn that away form around, man, and secure that top 4 and think on that, you know, and secure another trophy, hopefully. That's what I'm on. So big up to yourself, Bruno, man. Guys, remember to like, comment, subscribe. Like I said earlier, let me know who your man of the match was, and remember to just support the team, man. Until next time, peace.